How many of you are underage and drink or use drugs? Unless you've been caught, you probably think it's okay to continue. But here to tell you about the other side of the rainbow is Hank Hardy, the Judicial Coordinator here at Hofstra. Good afternoon, Dean Hardy.
Good afternoon.
How large is the drug and alcohol problem on campus here at Hofstra?
Well, to get a firm figure to work from, it's going to be very difficult because many of them may not go reported. It is one of the most reported violations that we have on campus, alcohol especially. Drugs, there are not as many reported as people may think.
Right. Suppose I had my door closed on campus and I was drinking. What rights, if any, do you have and your people have to come into my room?
Okay, first off, university personnel, let's say it's an RA, if there's a suspicion of it, 9 out of 10 times practical experience would tell them if there's nothing going on in the room, such as loud noise or disruptive conduct, breaking things, they may just let it pass. Right. If there's a suspicion, let's say, as in the freshman center, where there's no alcohol allowed at all because of the obvious age difference, they may walk in and walk up to the door, knock on it, and say, "This is the RA," or "I'm going to be coming in 2 seconds. You know, can I come in? Can I enter? What's going on?" And it gives the student ample time to sort of, use some discretion.
Right. Who makes up these rules, these conditions?
Well, the rules are made up by the university itself, so the university officials have sat down and we've all, as long as I've been judicial coordinator, have had the rules intact. What you're dealing with primarily are the procedures that are used. So the policies and the laws that we have here at Hofstra are pretty stable. The enforcement varies at times, so a lot of it's a judgment call.
Yeah. Suppose someone's caught under the drinking age with a beer at Hofstra USA. What should they expect the consequences to be?
Well, if they're found responsible, either through a hearing or if they accept responsibility, the precedent as of right now is a $25 fine and a disciplinary warning, which is more or less a written slap on the wrist.
Right. Let's say, is the punishment for using drugs the same as using alcohol?
Depends on the drug. If it's something minor, such as marijuana, and you're dealing also with quantity, so certain variables, it may run about the same as alcohol for the first-time offender with no past record. When you're dealing with harder drugs, such as heroin, cocaine, morphine, crack, then you're dealing with something that would probably carry a more severe sentence.
But you said those drugs are not really found on the campus, or...
Well, have not been reported as of yet. I have not had any official reports come in and says this is what's been used or even dealt when it comes to the campus.
I see. How does the university go about testing athletes for drug and alcohol use?
Well, I have a very minimal participation in that. If it's suspected that, from my understanding of the policy, that an athlete may have been using a controlled substance or may have been drinking alcohol, sometimes, most time to an excess, then they can be randomly tested.
Right. How often would you say the testing is done?
It's done on an individual basis. So at the beginning of the season, they may test an athlete to see, as part of the physical that they're going through, and then as it comes up, that's when it would probably be used.
Right. Well, this is an informative show. We should really ask a question on the other side. Are there any programs, if a student is having a problem with drugs and alcohol, are there programs that he or she can attend?
Definitely. We have some workshops in our counseling center, which if a student voluntarily goes over as mandated, they can get assistance in either with controlled substances or the alcohol itself. Many of the student groups have talked about possibly starting AA chapters here on campus to try and help the students feel more comfortable in dealing with this type of difficulty.
Would you say the problem is large enough now that something need to be done?
That's somewhat of a loaded question. To say that it's absolutely has to be done, I think it would be beneficial. I think that it's never a bad thing to have a program such as that, even if only a few people use it.
Right. Who runs these programs?
Well, it can be run by various administrators. Primarily it's run through the counseling center because they're qualified staff. They've had to go through internships and deal with these problems on a day-to-day situation.
Where are they located?
They're located over at the Student Center. I believe it's room 240, second floor of the Student Center, right across from Placement and Advisement.
If someone has a problem, should they feel free to talk to them, or even you, in fact?
If there's no report filed and a student would like to come in confidence and speak with me about something and get a referral, I would be more than happy to help them. Counseling center, same way. Many times students feel the Judicial Coordinator's office is there only for punishment. It's also there to try to help them out.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
And thank you for watching at home. Good day.